Good morning. It's Thursday morning. Hope you had a good evening, had a good Cinco de Mayo. Hope you're not suffering from 6 de Mayo. Today there is a ship taking out a 100-ton 4-story tall vault, I guess you will, out to the British Petroleum wellhead site to try to cap the wellhead that has been leaking oil now for over 2 weeks. Oil has started to come ashore. It's a massive spill. This is kind of a gamble. They've never done this before. So either it'll work or it won't. And if it doesn't, the potential is they could damage the wellhead further and create a worse leak. The basic idea is they drop this thing over the top. It weighs about 100 tons. So what they're hoping is that between that weight and the water pressure at a mile down, that it will be enough force to hold it down against the oil it's spewing up at 200,000 gallons a day. We can only hope. I read an interesting article today that kind of takes the EPA to task a little bit on this issue. You know, you've probably heard of the fact that there are microbes that actually eat oil. That they've tested them, and basically these microbes feed on oil, break it down into something that is harmless, and essentially can be used to clean up oil spills. There's only one problem. These things haven't been approved for use by the EPA. And part of the reason is because of the way the rules are written in terms of the genetic engineering required. And so there's no way for them to get this out in the field. To me, that's almost unbelievable, except that it's a government agency. And, you know, it doesn't surprise me when I think about it that a government agency is still following rules that were set over a generation ago when technological advances, scientific advances, have far surpassed what we were capable of then. So, I guess we need to think about why those restrictions are in place, what we need to do to get rid of them. You know, I think everybody would agree if there's a way that we can come up with petroleum-eating microbes that are safe. Mind you, they don't leave any residue. They stop replicating once the oil is gone, etc. I think we need to be developing those things just in case. Now, an argument against that was, wow, yeah, let's make sure the government can take care of British Petroleum's problem. I kind of see that, you know, that it's not the government's problem to fix this, it's British Petroleum's. And yes, we should be regulating, and yes, there should be, you know, contingency plans in place before we allow a lease to be fulfilled. Before we allow the rig to go up, there should be some type of regulation in terms of what's the backup plans? Because obviously it didn't work here. There was only one backup plan, and that one failed. So there should be some regulation there. And, you know, we should be requiring British Petroleum and every other driller to have these plans in place. But you know what? Sometimes we have to save ourselves from ourselves. And we should be planning for, preparing for, implementing plans in case this kind of thing ever happens. Because this isn't just about spilling some oil and, oh gosh, what are we going to do without that oil? This is about untold numbers of animals, of wildlife, fish, crustaceans, birds, all being affected. Oyster beds being affected by the oil in the water, whether it's on the surface or whether it falls after weathering, falls to the ocean floor as tar balls, which will then get consumed. Even when we no longer can see the oil on the surface or on the beach, the shrimp in the area, the oysters in the area will be contaminated with this oil. They will be inedible. Many of them will die. Birds will die from being soaked in oil because we don't have enough hands to fix it. It destroys economies. You know, the entire Gulf region relies on fisheries, oyster farms, shrimping as a major source of revenue in that area. When those people can't go out and have their livelihood, they lose jobs. When you lose jobs, you lose quality of life. I mean, it's this whole chain reaction. And that's one of the things that government can do, is protect us from these kind of things. Or at least be there to mitigate the damage done. And so the EPA needs to get on this, work on these regulations, loosen things up a little bit so these guys can do the experimentation they need to do, so they can get these kind of solutions approved, these next level technologies, so that if this thing ever happens again, we're ready. Hope you have a great day. I think it's going to be a busy one for me. But I hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you later.